Hello students. So in the last class we discussed about MI type instruments, PMMC instruments, their advantages, disadvantages and error occurs in these instruments. Right? So today we are going to discuss about electrodynamometer type measuring instruments. Now in electrodynamometer type measuring instruments, as again the deflecting torque here is proportional to your field, your current in the fixed coil and the current in the moving coil, right? So the theta, that is the angle of deflection of this through this pointer, is directly proportional to the IF into IM. That means current in the fixed coil and current in the moving coil. If both the current are equal, so that in that case theta is directly proportional to I square. So that means if theta is directly proportional to I square, so these type of instruments again can be used for AC as well as on DC, like your MI type instruments were used. Okay, so these type of instruments can also be used on AC supply as well as on DC supply, and such instruments have a higher accuracy and precision. So these instruments can be used for the calibration purpose also. It can be used for the calibration, okay, and also it can be used as the transfer instrument from AC to DC or from DC to AC. Okay, so now we'll see the construction of electrodynamometer type instrument. As you know, there is the fixed coil, right? Fixed coil has been divided into two parts, and these fixed coils are air cooled. Okay, these fixed coils are air cooled, and there is the moving coil, and this moving coil is you're connected with the spindle and with the pointer, and this pointer will deflect as the torque is experienced by deflecting torque is experienced by the moving coil. Okay, now this moving coil is to be this is connected with the help of the two springs here. Two springs are used for controlling torque, and this can be used for controlling torque. And secondly, this movable coil has to find a quite space there, the fixed coil to be adjusted in such a way, or it should be apart from each other in a sufficient space, so that moving coil can move easily or rotate easily in the space there, right? So in this way the construction is being made, and you can see here the three coils are connected in the series. That means fixed coils are connected in series along with the movable coil, so that we can measure the voltage in the system. So it can be used for the voltage measurement, and electrodynamometer type instruments can be used for the current measurement as an ammeter, and also for the power measurement, that is your wattmeter, right? That we will see the description later on, but firstly it is important to understand the basic description and the construction of the electrodynamometer type instruments. Okay, now as you know, the fixed coil is there. The fixed coil is divided into two parts. Now as you know that when the supply is being given, when it is connected to the supply, the current will start flowing in the fixed coil. Now these fixed coil are air cooled, okay, and the movable coil also. So fixed coil are air cooled, so the current in the fixed coil when it is flowing, so it will be creating its own magnetic field. Similarly, there is the movable coil also, so the current will also pass through the movable coil, so it will create its own magnetic field. So the two operating fields will be interacting with each other, and when the deflecting torque when occurs in the system, so that deflecting torque is due to the current in the fixed coil as well as current in the movable coil. Okay, so that means the important difference is that the field due to fixed coil is not constant. The field due to fixed coil is not constant here, but it varies with the magnitude of current flowing through the fixed coil. Whatever be the current magnitude is flowing there, so accordingly the field will be also, operating field will be also changing. So hence the deflecting torque of this instrument is determined not only by the movable coil but also by the fixed coil. It is also determined by the fixed coil. So that means your deflecting torque is proportional to the field flux, this current in the field coil as well as current in the movable coil. And when these are connected in series, when the field coils and the movable coil all are connected in series, so you know in the series we have only one current. The current is common which is flowing through the elements. So IF is equal to IM is equal to I. So in that case your TD is directly proportional to I square. So whatever be the, and you know controlling torque will be occurring just the opposite to the deflecting torque when it will be moving in this direction. So your this pointer will start deflect towards the full scale deflection. So the controlling torque will also occur across it in the opposite side, which is through these springs which try to which will try to bring this at desired position so that it can stay, pointer can stay for some time at this position. So TC is directly proportional to theta and TC is equal to K theta. So your theta is ultimately proportional to your I square. That means this type of instrument can be used both on AC as well as on DC. Okay. Now we'll see the construction of this. There is the fixed coil. The operating field is produced by the fixed coil, which is divided into two sections to give a uniform field near the center. The coil is wound with fine wire when used as a voltmeter and heavy wire when used as an ammeter and wattmeter. Because heavy wire, why we are wounding it with a heavy wire? Because at that time it will be carrying the load current. Okay. And with the fine wire when we are using it with as a voltmeter. The wire is stranded when necessary to reduce eddy current losses in the conductor. Now there is the fixed coil, there is the moving coil also. The moving coil is wound either as a self-sustaining coil or else on a non-metallic former. The use of metallic former is avoided in order to avoid the inducement of the eddy current in it. Both moving coil and fixed coils are air cooled. Now why they are kept air cooled? Why the moving coil and this the fixed coil are kept air cooled? They are kept air cooled just to avoid the eddy current and hysteresis errors which occur while taking the measurements. So to avoid those errors, eddy current losses and the hysteresis losses occurring in the system, to avoid that the coils are used as air cooled. Okay, so air cooled coils has been used here. Now stationary part consists of two fixed coils connected in series as shown in figure so that they carry the same current. The moving system consists of a coil mounted on the spindle which is free to rotate in the space between the two fixed coils. The coil is made up of thin copper wire and is air cooled to avoid hysteresis losses. The coil is made up of thin copper wire and is air cooled to avoid hysteresis losses. Now controlling torque provided by two spiral springs. They also act as connecting leads for the moving coil. Pointer is mounted on the spindle. Now mirror is provided to avoid the parallax error. Obviously mirror is provided so that you can take the desired reading and there will not be any parallax error occurs there. Now damping is provided by air friction damping. Now here the air friction damping is used and that's why the air cooled coils are being used here. So air friction damping can be used here. Okay. Now the operating principle of dynamometer type instrument is the interaction between the current in the moving coil and the fixed coil. That means the operating principle is majorly depending upon the interaction between the two currents. One, the current in the fixed coil and another the current in the moving coil. So when the two coils are energized, their magnetic field interact and the resulting torque tend to rotate the moving coil. That means the resulting torque is not only depending on the current in the moving coil, but it also depends on the current in the fixed coil. And due to the interaction of the two magnetic fields and the two current, for that purpose the deflecting torque will occur. So since there is no iron, so the field strength is proportional to the current in the fixed coil, and therefore the deflecting torque is proportional to the product of current in the fixed coil and moving coil. So we have not used any iron here, we have just used the coils there, fixed coil and the moving coil. So current will be proportional to, deflecting torque is proportional to the product of the current in the fixed as well as moving coil. So current carrying conductor, when placed in the magnetic field, so it will experience a force or a torque. So that deflecting torque is proportional to the two operating magnetic fields and the two current carrying two operating magnetic fields, which the two operating magnetic field is proportional to the current flowing in the fixed coil as well as in movable coil. When used as a wattmeter, and the fixed coil is the current coil and the moving coil is the pressure coil. When we are talking about the wattmeter, then in the wattmeter we have the current coil and one as the pressure coil. So at that time the fixed coil will be treated as the current coil and the moving coil will be treated as the pressure coil. Thus the current in the latter is proportional to the voltage applied, and hence the deflecting torque is proportional to the product of voltage and current. So in that case there will be one will be the current carried by the fixed coil and another is the voltage taken by the movable coil. So V and I will be taken as the power measurement, Vi cos phi as the power measurement for the electrodynamometer type instrument. That we will see and describe the relation also, derive the relation also. Okay, firstly it's important to understand the working principle and the construction of the electrodynamometer type instrument. Now here you can see the torque equation. If If and Im are the current flowing through the fixed and moving coil respectively, like deflecting torque, so Td is directly proportional to If and Im. In spring controlled instrument, controlling torque, Tc is directly proportional to theta, and we know that in steady state position, the deflected position, Tc is equal to Td, so theta is directly proportional to If and Im. Now when we are using it as voltmeter, so in that case fixed coil and moving coil both are connected in the series, so we have the same current, so theta is directly proportional to I square. So that's why electrodynamometer type instrument can also be used for AC as well as on DC supply. Now we will talk about the errors. Okay, errors in the electrodynamometer type instrument. So what first error we are going to discuss is the frictional error. Frictional error, which is due to the heavy moving parts. Now we have to understand this thing first. Okay, now as we know that the current in the, there is the current in the fixed coil and the current in the movable coil. Okay, so when the current in the fixed coil and the movable coil, so as they are air cooled coils, so air cooled coils have can take the limited current. Okay, limited current, because otherwise there will be the heating loss, and due to this heating loss there will be the errors occur in the system. Okay, I square R losses will be there if the heavy current will be flowing through it, so there will be the self heating loss in the coils, and somewhere it also changes the resistance. So due to which what happens, at times it will causes the error in the system. So as you know, air cooled coils are there, so we can use the limited current. Okay, so limited current we can use, so due to which the operating magnetic field due to the fixed coil is quite weak. Similarly we have here the moving coil also. So moving coil also carries the limited current, because it is connected with the spindles with the springs there. Okay, two springs are used, so those springs can carry with the help of the leads, so they can carry a limited current. Okay, or there due to the high temperature, because once the heat loss will be generated there, so it will increase the temperature also, and due to which the temperature increases, so it causes the error in the readings. So ultimately it will also going to create the problems. So because of that, this IM value is also taken up as the limited current can flow there and limited current can flow there fixed coil. So if we want to increase the current rating, if we want to increase the current current range in the coil, so in that case we have only option is to increase the number of turns. Okay, we have only option to increase the number of turns. So if we increase the number of turns of the movable coil there, right, if we increase the number of turns of the moving system here, so it will be it will make the system quite heavier, because ultimately if you are increasing the number of turns, so that it will make your system heavy. So when your system will be heavy, then torque to weight ratio will be low or less value, whereas our torque to weight ratio should be higher. Okay, then only your system is lighter. So otherwise it will so in this electrodynamometer type instrument, what happens, your system will become heavy, your moving system will become heavy, due to which there will be the frictional errors in the system. So that frictional errors are due to the heavy moving part. Okay, so heavy moving part is for what? Because we have to increase the number of turns of the coil just to increase the current range. So if we have to increase the current range, then we have no other option to increase only the number of turns. Okay, due to which the frictional error occurs in the system. Now next is your temperature error. So temperature errors is due to the internal heating. Internal heating is your I square R losses. So due to the heating part, your resistance also changes at times, and you can say that change in temperature also causes change in spring constant and the resistance of the coil, due to which there will be the changes in the reading occurs. Next is your air due to stray magnetic field. Now what is stray magnetic field first? So as you know that the fixed coils are used, which are air cored, which can carry limited current. So due to which the operating magnetic field is quite weaker due to the fixed coil. So when the operating magnetic field is weaker, so it can be easily attracted by the field outside there, and can easily, there will be the losses occurs in the system, or it can create the losses in the system. So to avoid that, the shielding is very much necessary, just to shield your instrument completely, to provide the shielding on the instrument, so the effect can be reduced by proper shielding surrounding the complete assembly by the laminated steel shield, to reduce the eddy currents induced in the shield, and surrounding this shield by the certain kind of steel cylinder or certain steel cover, so that it can be easily protected, and outside field cannot be easily attracted, or it cannot easily weaken up your operating field, because already it is your fixed operating field due to the fixed coil is weaker. So if it is if it is kept exposed in the environment, so due to the other factors also, it can be easily their strength of that magnetic field can go more weaker, right? So to avoid that and to protect that and to reduce that impact, the magnetic field shielding is very much necessary here. Okay, so that shielding is required, so that the two fields which are which are in opposite any uniform external field reduces the deflecting torque, and it can increases the same amount in the core, right? So that is very much important here. Now next is your frequency error. Frequency error, as I have already told you, when we talk about AC, so there the frequency error occurs. So frequency error occurs due to what? Due to the change in the inductance or the change in the reactance of the coil, because your coil inductance is depending upon the frequency. So there will be the change in the magnitude of the reactance of the coil due to the current which is which is flowing inside the coil. So there will be the change in the magnitude of the reactance of the coil, which causes the error in the frequency. So that is also problem, because if there is a change in a frequency, there will be the change in the reactance of the coil, and that change will be going to change the value across the system, whatever you are calculating. So these are the types of errors which occur in the electrodynamometer type instrument. Now what are the advantages? As you know, the instrument has square law responses, so it can be used on both DC as well as on AC, and these instruments are free from hysteresis and eddy current errors because we are using the air cored coils here. So there is also absence of iron here in the operating part of the instrument, and air cored coil is used, so we are free so these instruments are free from hysteresis and eddy current errors. Next is ammeter up to 10 ampere and voltmeter up to 600 volt can be constructed with precision grade accuracy. Dynamometer type voltmeters are very useful for accurate measurement of RMS value of voltages irrespective of waveforms. Now, because of precision grade accuracy and for the calibration purpose for DC and AC measurement, these instruments are used as transfer and calibration instruments. Now what are the disadvantages? The scale is not uniform as the instrument has square law response. The scale is not uniform here. So again, when we do the calibration, so at that time it can be problematic because we are not getting the values equally spaced there. Okay, because generally it is calibration is easier of those instruments which follow the linear characteristic. That means output is following the input. The magnetic field strength obtained in these instruments is small due to the absence of iron. So large number of ampere turns are required on the moving coil to obtain the necessary deflecting torque. So as a result, the moving system becomes heavier and it can create the frictional errors, due to which there will be the power loss becomes high. So that is the disadvantage. Now next is a small torque to weight ratio. Because the system is heavy, so there will be a small torque to weight ratio. High frictional losses are here. Low sensitivity is there, right? Because the losses are due to the frictional losses are there, temperature effect is there, temperature errors occurs in the system. So because of that, the sensitivity is also low, and these instruments are quite expensive also. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of the system of using electrodynamometer type instrument. So this is all about the description of the electrodynamometer type instrument. So far we studied about PMMC instruments, working principle of PMMC, their demerits and merits, and errors also discussed. Then we talked about MI type instruments, working principle of MI type instruments and types of MI type instruments, and their merits and demerits. And then we discussed about electrodynamometer type instruments, their merits, demerits, and the errors occurs in the performance of the error which occurs and affects the performance of the electrodynamometer type instrument. So this is all about our measuring instruments, review of the indicating type of instruments. Now in the next class I will derive the relation for the electrodynamometer type instrument when used as the wattmeter. Okay, when can be used as wattmeter, voltmeter and ammeter. So how it can be used, right? So that derivation we will do in the next class. I hope this much is clear to everyone. Okay, thank you.